Long ago, in a world called Eos, there existed a kingdom unlike any other. The kingdom of Lucas, nestled at the heart of a vast continent, rose from ancient stone and older magic. Its crown city, Insomnia, gleamed like a jewel of light against the encroaching darkness. Its towers reached toward the heavens. Its streets hummed with life. And at its center stood the crystal, an ancient artifact of immeasurable power. The source of all magic. The heartbeat of the kingdom itself. For centuries, the crystal had been guarded by the Lucas Selim royal line. Each king channeled its power through a magical barrier called the Wall, a shimmering dome of light that kept the armies of the Nibelheim Empire at bay. But maintaining the wall came at a terrible cost. Each king who bore its burden aged before his time, his life slowly consumed by the magic he wielded to protect his people. King Regis Lucas Selim the 113th was such a man. Once tall and proud, he now walked with a cane, his face lined with the weight of decades of sacrifice. He had given everything to the world. And yet the empire grew stronger, bolder, more relentless. And so, on the eve of what was supposed to be peace, King Regis made the hardest decision of his life. He sent his children away. His son, Prince Noctis, the prophesied true king, destined to bring light to a world consumed by darkness. And his daughter, Princess Reina, fierce, gifted, and fiercely devoted to her twin brother. He sent them away on the pretense of a royal wedding, knowing in his heart that he was sending them away from a city that was already lost. He never told them goodbye. He never said the words he should have said. Because if he had, they would have stayed. And if they had stayed, everything he had sacrificed would have been for nothing. This is their story. The story of what came after. The story of two young royals who lost everything in a single night and chose to fight anyway. This is the audio adventures of Final Fantasy XV. Fractured. The Citadel of Insomnia. Dawn. The air smelled of rain and old stone. The corridors of the palace were quiet in that particular way that precedes catastrophe, not the quiet of peace, but the quiet of held breath.
COR, is the evacuation proceeding?
Yes, Your Majesty. We have gotten most of the civilians out through the eastern gate. But the citadel is surrounded.
Good. That is good. And Noctis? Reina?
They left this morning, as you ordered. They are safe.
Then it was worth it. All of it.
Your Majesty, please. We must go. There is still time.
Linafria, you have always been like a daughter to me. You know that, don't you?
Please don't.
The ring. You must take it to Noctis. He will need it. The power of the Lucii flows through it. It is his birthright. Promise me.
I promise. I swear it.
Quietly, with love, tell him. Tell him that I have always been proud of him. And tell Reina, tell my daughter, that her light was the greatest thing in my world. Now go. Both of you. Go. That is an order, COR.
Your Majesty.
Get her out. And take care of them. All of them. That is my final command.
Yes, Your Majesty. It has been an honor.
King Regis Lucas Selim turned back toward the window. Below him, the city he had spent his life protecting burned. He did not run. He did not hide. He stood at the window of the citadel and watched the wall, his wall, the wall that had cost him everything, flicker and die. And in the last moment, as the darkness rushed in, he smiled. Because somewhere out there, beyond the flames and the falling towers, his children were alive. In a world called Eos, one kingdom stood apart from the darkness. The kingdom of Lucas, protected by an ancient crystal and a magical wall, was the last bastion of light in a world consumed by the Nibelheim Empire. But even the greatest walls must one day fall. King Regis Lucas Selim, weary and aged beyond his years from maintaining the wall, spoke his final words as the city of Insomnia burned around him. His voice was heavy with grief, love, and acceptance.
The crowned city of Insomnia, our home, our sanctuary. For centuries the wall held the darkness at bay. But peace is a fragile illusion, easily shattered by those who crave power. Noctis, Reyna, my children, forgive me. Tell them I am sorry I could not be the father they needed.
This is an emergency broadcast. The Citadel is under attack. Nibelheim forces have breached the wall. I repeat, the wall has fallen. Evacuate immediately. All citizens of Insomnia, evacuate immediately.
The world of Eos had not always been so dark. There was a time long before living memory when the crystal's light touched every corner of the land. When the Astrals, ancient beings of immeasurable power, walked among mortals. When the star scourge, the plague of darkness that turned men into monsters called demons, had not yet taken hold. That time was gone. The star scourge had spread slowly, inexorably, like ink dropped into water. Each night grew a little longer. Each dawn came a little later. The demons multiplied in the darkness, and the crystal's power was the only thing holding the final night at bay. The Nibelheim Empire had found a way to harness the darkness rather than fight it. Their Magitech technology, soldiers built from stolen bodies, powered by demon essence, gave them an army that never tired, never feared, and never stopped. Against such a force, the Wall of Lucas was not a shield. It was a countdown. And now the countdown had reached 0.
We are receiving word that Imperial forces have occupied Insomnia. Furthermore, official Imperial channels are reporting that King Regis has been killed in the attack. The Crystal of Lucas has been seized by the Nibelheim Empire. The crowned city has fallen.
300 miles from the ruins of Insomnia, 5 young people drove through the desert in a black car, carrying the weight of a fallen kingdom on their shoulders. They did not yet know the full scope of what they faced. They did not yet know what the prophecy truly demanded. They only knew that they had to keep moving forward. Always forward. The road to Galden Quay stretched before them, golden in the afternoon sun. And somewhere ahead, past the Imperial blockades and the demon-haunted nights, past the grief and the fear, lay the beginning of everything.
Are we there yet? My legs are completely falling asleep back here.
We have been driving for 2 hours, Prompto. Quit whining.
Easy for you to say, Gladio. You have got all that leg room in the front. I am squished back here between the royal twins.
Oh, I am sorry. Am I taking up too much space? I could always use a little light magic to shrink you down a bit. Fit you right in the glove compartment.
Very funny, Reyna.
Let us not resort to anything drastic just yet.
Keep it down, will you? Some of us are trying to sleep.
I suggest you wake up, Highness. We are approaching Hammerhead. The regalia is in need of maintenance before we continue to Galden Quay. Fine. Wake me when we stop.
Honestly, Noct. You would sleep through an earthquake if Ignis did not drag you out of bed.
It is called conserving energy. You should try it sometime.
Conserving energy for what? The wedding? You are supposed to be marrying the Oracle, not hibernating.
I know. I am ready.
We know you are. But this is not just about the wedding. It is about securing peace. Father is counting on us.
It appears the engine is struggling with the desert heat. I shall pull over at the station ahead.
Oh man. Solid ground. Finally. My legs. I can feel them again. Okay. I have a question. If you could be any kind of monster from the Lucian bestiary, what would you be?
What kind of question is that?
A good one. I would be a behemoth. Huge, powerful, nobody messes with you.
A behemoth is also hunted by every capable hunter in the region and has an average lifespan of 12 years in the wild.
Oh.
What about you, Ignis? I would not wish to be a monster at all, Prompto.
That is such an Ignis answer. Reyna?
A carbuncle. Small, fast, and completely immune to magic. Very hard to catch.
That is actually really smart.
Adamantois. Nothing can hurt it, and it just sleeps all day.
Of course.
What?
Valid choice.
It is the most Noctis choice possible. Gladio, you did not answer.
Iron Giant.
Yeah, that tracks.
We should reach Hammerhead within the hour. I suggest we use the time productively. Noctis, have you reviewed the itinerary for the wedding ceremony?
Groaning. Ignis, we are on a road trip. Can we not?
The ceremony is in 3 weeks. There are protocols to memorize, vows to prepare.
Ignis, he knows the vows. He has been practicing them since he was 16.
Reyna,
What? It is true. I heard you reciting them in the mirror.
Wait, really?
Noct, that is adorable.
I hate all of you.
No, you do not.
No, I do not. But I am not admitting that out loud.
I shall review our route while we wait. The ferry schedule is quite strict, and we cannot afford to miss our departure window.
Yeah, I know.
Noctis, I know this journey weighs on you, but your father believed in you. We all do.
Thanks, Specs.
Well, howdy there. Welcome to Hammerhead. You folks look like you have been on the road a while. What can I do for you?
Good afternoon. We require a full diagnostic on this vehicle, as well as an oil change and refueling.
Well, I will be. That is a genuine Lucian model, is it not? The Regalia. She is a beauty. Papa is gonna flip when he sees this.
Hi. I am Prompto, and this is Noctis, and Reyna, and Gladio, and Ignis. It is really great to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Prompto. I am Cindy. I will get to work on her right away. Might take a little while, though. You folks can rest up at the diner over yonder.
We appreciate it, Cindy. You are a lifesaver.
Oh, do not you worry, Nan. She will be purring like a kitten when I am done with her. You know, I do not get many Lucian models out here. Most folks drive the Niflheim-made vehicles these days. Cheaper, easier to maintain. But there is nothing like a genuine Lucian machine. The engineering on these old beauties is just something else.
You really know your stuff, Cindy.
Papa taught me everything I know. Started working on engines when I was 5 years old. Mama was not too happy about the grease stains, but here we are. How long have you been on the road?
Since this morning. We are heading to Galden Quay.
Long drive. You picked a good time to stop, though. I found a crack in your coolant line. Another hour on the road and your engine would have seized up something fierce.
Lucky we stopped here.
Lucky is right. You folks hungry? Dave has got a mean stack of pancakes going in the diner. On the House for Lucian Travelers.
Did she say pancakes?
Do not embarrass us.
No promises. They settled into the diner, a weathered building that smelled of motor oil and coffee and something faintly sweet. Prompto ordered 3 stacks of pancakes. Gladio ordered everything on the menu. Ignis reviewed their route with the focused intensity of a man who had never once in his life eaten a meal without simultaneously planning something. And Noctis and Reyna sat across from each other in a corner booth, watching the desert shimmer through the dusty window.
It is strange, is it not? Being out here, so far from the wall.
Yeah, it is quiet. Too quiet.
I kind of like it. Open road. Blue sky. No responsibilities.
Except for the whole royal wedding thing.
Thanks for the reminder.
Do you think Luna is nervous?
Probably. But she would never show it. She is the Oracle. She has been carrying the weight of the world since she was 12 years old. A wedding is probably the least frightening thing she has ever faced.
I hope she is happy. I hope this makes her happy. Not just the peace treaty. Actually happy.
I think you make her happy, Noct. I really do.
And in other news, the peace treaty signing between Lucas and Nibelheim is scheduled for today at the Citadel in Insomnia. Officials expect this to mark a new era of cooperation between the two nations.
Turn that up.
We are receiving breaking news. Reports are still unconfirmed, but sources say that the peace treaty signing has ended in disaster. Explosions have been reported near the Citadel. The wall appears to be down. We are receiving word that Imperial forces have occupied Insomnia. Furthermore, official Imperial channels are reporting that King Regis has been killed in the attack. The Crown Prince and Princess are also reported to have perished. We will continue to monitor the situation.
Wait. What?
No.
No.
We must leave. Now.
Faster, Ignis. We have to get back. We have to see for ourselves.
I am pushing her as hard as I can, Noct.
We cannot just drive straight into the city. If the Empire has taken it, it is swarming with Magitech troops.
I do not care. We are going through.
Noct, wait. It is COR. Marshal, tell me it is not true.
Gladio, where are you?
We are at the blockade outside the city. We are coming in. No. Turn around.
What? We have to.
The city is lost. The king is dead. The crystal has been taken. You and your sister are the only hope left for Lucis. Do not throw your lives away here. Meet me at the Geek Ridge Trench. We will talk there.
Breaking down, sobbing softly, he is gone. Noct. He is gone.
Damn it. Damn it.
We should find somewhere to stop. Away from the road. Agreed. There is a rest area 2 miles east. We will regroup there.
He knew. He knew this was going to happen. That is why he sent us away. He was protecting us.
He should have let us protect him.
What could we have done, Reyna? The wall fell. The crystal was taken. The entire King's Glaive could not stop it. What would 2 more people have changed?
It was only Father.
I know. I know.
I am really sorry, guys. About the king. He was always really kind to me. Even when I was just some kid from the city who somehow became Noct's best friend. He never made me feel like I did not belong.
He liked you, Prompto. He always said you were good for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The king would not want us to stop here. He sent you both away for a reason. He believed in the prophecy. He believed in you, Noctis. In both of you. Ignis is right.
Grief is a luxury we cannot afford right now. We move. We find the royal tombs. We get stronger. And then we take back what was taken from us.
Gladio is right. We do not stop. Not for anything. For him. For Lucas. For all of us.
They sat in silence for a long time. The desert stretched around them, vast and indifferent. The sun was beginning to sink toward the horizon, painting the sky in shades of amber and red colors that looked, in that moment, too much like fire. Reyna was the first to speak again.
He knew. He knew this was going to happen, and he still sent us away. He was protecting us. That is what he always did.
I should have been there. I could have helped him.
Knocked. If you had been there, you would be dead too. And then everything he sacrificed would mean nothing.
So what do we do now?
We do what he asked. We keep going. We find Luna. We reclaim the crystal. We take back our home.
Just like that?
Just like that. Because we are Lucas Selim. And we do not stop. Not for anyone. Not even grief.
You sound like him, you know.
I know. But come on. The marshal is waiting. I keep thinking about the last time I saw him. Father. He was standing at the top of the Citadel steps when we left, watching us drive away. He looked old, older than I had ever seen him. The wall had taken so much from him over the years. I wanted to go back. I almost told Ignis to turn around. But Noct put his hand on my arm and said, "He needs us to go." So I did not look back. I should have looked back. I keep trying to remember what he looked like standing there. But the image keeps blurring. Like a photograph left in the rain. I am terrified that one day I will not be able to remember his face at all. He used to call me his little light. Even when I was 15 and furious about some protocol or another, he would put his hand on my head and say, "Reyna, my little light." It is the thing about loss that nobody tells you. It is not the big moments that break you. It is the small ones. The ordinary moments you did not know to treasure until they were gone. So I am going to do what he asked. I am going to protect Noct. I am going to help him become the king our father believed he could be. And somewhere along the way, maybe I will figure out who I am supposed to be in all of this. Because I am not just the prince's sister. I am not just a princess. I am a Lucas Selim. And we do not stop.
Do you ever think about what it would have been like if we had been born normal?
All the time.
No crystal, no wall, no prophecy, just two kids who could grow up without the weight of a kingdom on their shoulders.
We would probably be terrible at it. Being normal.
Probably. I used to be angry about it, you know, when we were little. All those lessons, all those expectations, while other kids got to just play.
I remember. You threw your history book at the tutor once.
He deserved it. He was insufferable.
Yeah, he was. Noct, whatever happens, I need you to promise me something.
What?
Do not shut us out. When it gets hard, when it gets dark, do not carry it alone. We are here. All of us.
I promise.
Good. Get some sleep. Ignis will have us up before dawn.
Hey, Reyna.
Yeah?
I am glad you are here. I mean it.
Me too, Noct. Me too.
Hey, Noct. Can I ask you something kind of personal?
Depends on what it is.
Fair enough. Do you ever get scared? Like, really scared?
All the time.
Really? You never seem like it.
That is kind of the point. If I seem scared, everyone else gets scared. And then we are all scared together and nobody is doing anything useful.
That sounds really lonely.
Yeah, sometimes it is.
You know, you can tell me, right? Like, if you are scared or sad or whatever, you do not have to do the prince thing with me. We have known each other since we were kids.
I know.
I mean it. I know I am not Gladio or Ignis. I am not a shield or an advisor. I am just me. But I am here. Whatever you need.
You have always been exactly what I needed. You just do not know it.
Do not say stuff like that. You are going to make me cry. Gladio will never let me live it down.
Then do not cry.
Too late. Thanks, Noct. Thanks for being my friend. My real friend. Not the prince's friend. Mine.
Always, man. Always.
Gladio, a word.
What is it?
I have been calculating our situation. The Empire has already deployed patrols in the Leda region. They are not simply occupying Insomnia. They are spreading across all of Lucis systematically.
I noticed. What is your read?
They are looking for Noctis specifically. The radio broadcast claiming the Crown Prince was killed, that was deliberate misinformation. They want the public to believe he is dead, but their troop movements suggest they know he is not.
So we are being hunted.
Precisely. Which means our timeline is compressed. Every day we spend on the road is another day the Empire has to close the net around us.
What are you suggesting?
I am suggesting we move faster. Less camping. Fewer detours. Straight to the royal tombs, straight to Alticia. Noctis needs time to process what happened to his father. You cannot just push him.
I know that. I am not suggesting we ignore his grief. I am suggesting we channel it. Give him a purpose, a direction. Grief without direction becomes despair.
You are right.
What about Reyna?
She is holding herself together through sheer force of will. She is more fragile than she appears right now. She needs to feel useful. Give her responsibilities. Let her contribute.
You have thought about all of this.
It is my job to think about all of this. Noctis is the true king. But he cannot be the king he needs to be if we do not hold the ground around him. That is what we are here for.
Agreed. We move at first light.
They met COR the Marshal at the Geek Ridge Trench just before midnight. He was waiting for them beside a battered military vehicle, his face unreadable in the way that only men who had seen too much could manage. He had been a soldier his entire life. He had served 3 kings. He had watched empires rise and fall. And yet, as Noctis and Reyna stepped out of the regalia and walked toward him across the rocky ground, something in his expression shifted, just for a moment, into something that looked almost like grief.
You made it.
We made it. Tell me what happened.
The peace treaty was a trap. The Empire never intended to honor it. They used the signing ceremony to get their forces inside the wall. Once they were in, the wall could not stop them from within. Your father knew. He had known for some time. He chose to let it happen.
He chose to let it happen?
He chose to let the city fall rather than let you die trying to save it. He made his choice. Now you have to make yours.
What choice?
The prophecy is real, Noctis. The King of Light. The one who will stand against the eternal night. Your father believed it was you. I believe it too. But belief is not enough. You need power. Real power. The kind that comes from the royal arms, weapons left behind by your ancestors in their tombs across Lucis.
The royal tombs. Father mentioned them once. He said they were scattered across the continent.
14 tombs. 14 weapons. Each one will add to your strength, your connection to the crystal, your ability to fulfill the prophecy. But the crystal is gone. Taken by the Empire. Which means you need another way to reach it.
Alticia. The Oracle.
Lunafreya Nox Fluorid. She has the power to commune with the astrals. If Noctis can earn the blessings of the Six, the astrals, he will have the power to reclaim the crystal and fulfill his destiny.
And if I cannot?
Then the darkness wins. The star scourge spreads. The diamonds multiply. The nights grow longer and longer until there is no more dawn. That is what is at stake. That is what your father died to give you the chance to prevent.
No pressure, then.
No. No pressure.
Where do we start?
There is a tomb nearby. The Tomb of the Wise. It belongs to your ancestor, King Mors. Start there. Claim the weapon. Begin the journey. And do not stop.
We will not stop.
I know. You are your father's children. Both of you. He was proud of you. Both of you. He told me so. More than once.
Thank you, COR.
The Tomb of the Wise stood at the end of a narrow canyon, carved from the living rock of the Leda Cliffs. It had stood for 300 years, sealed by ancient magic, waiting for the one who carried the blood of the Lucii. The air around it was heavy with something old and solemn, the weight of history, of sacrifice, of power passed down through generations. Noctis approached the sealed door alone. The others waited at the canyon entrance, watching.
To herself, watching, come on, knocked.
Voice echoing slightly, as if in a large stone chamber. Hello? Is anyone?
Deep, resonant, ancient, you carry the blood of the Lucii. You carry the burden of the true king. I have waited long for one such as you.
I am Noctis Lucas Selim, son of Regis. I have come to claim the royal arm.
The path before you is not one of glory. It is one of sacrifice, of loss, of pain that will test the limits of what you can endure. Are you prepared for that?
I do not know, but I am not turning back.
Then take up the weapon, and carry it well.
Gasping slightly, then steadying, I have it.
Knocked. Are you all right?
Yeah, I am fine. I felt something, like a connection, like something clicking into place.
That is the power of the Lucii. Your ancestors, lending you their strength.
It is strange. It feels like they are still here, like they never really left.
In a sense, they have not. The royal arms carry the essence of those who wielded them. You are not alone in this, Noctis. You never were.
1 down. 13 to go.
Road trip just got a lot more epic.
We claimed the first royal arm today. Watching Noct walk into that tomb alone was one of the hardest things I have ever done. Every instinct I have screamed at me to follow him, to protect him, to make sure nothing happened to him. But I stayed back. Because he needed to do it alone. Because some things can only be done alone. I think about the prophecy a lot. The King of Light. The one who will stand against the eternal night. The one who will sacrifice everything to bring the dawn. Nobody talks about what that sacrifice means. Not really, Cor spoke around it. Ignis speaks around it. Even Father, in his letters, spoke around it. But I have read the old texts. I know what the prophecy says. I know what it costs. And I am terrified. Not for myself. I have never been afraid for myself. I am terrified for Noct. For what he will have to carry. For what he will have to become. But I am also his twin. His other half. And if the prophecy demands a sacrifice, then I will do everything in my power to make sure that sacrifice means something. That it is not wasted. That the world he gives everything for is worth giving everything for. That is my purpose. That is why I am here. I am not just the princess. I am not just the spare. I am the one who walks beside the King of Light and makes sure the light does not go out before it has to. I can do that. I know I can.
Galden Quay was a small coastal resort town, the kind of place that existed in a permanent state of gentle decay, where the paint was always peeling and the dockboards always creaking and the sea air smelled of salt and old fish and something indefinably melancholy. It was beautiful, in the way that things on the edge of the world are always beautiful. They arrived at dusk. The ferry to Altacia was supposed to depart in the morning. They had one night.
Oh man. Look at that water. I have never seen water that color before. Is that real?
It is the Sigilan Sea. The water is always that color out here. Something to do with the mineral content of the seabed.
It looks like a painting.
It really does.
I shall secure our accommodations for the evening. In the meantime, I suggest everyone take the opportunity to rest. We have a long voyage ahead of us.
I want to fish.
Of course you do.
What? It is relaxing.
It is also the one skill you have that none of us can argue with. Go fish, Noct. You have earned it.
Noctis found a spot at the end of the dock and sat with his fishing rod, watching the sun sink into the Sigilan Sea. The others drifted off to their respective corners of the resort. Gladio found a quiet spot to train. Ignis began preparing their supplies for the voyage. Prompto wandered the waterfront with his camera, capturing everything he could see. And Reyna sat on the beach, alone, watching her brother fish, and tried to hold herself together. A stranger approached her from the direction of the resort.
Smooth, slightly theatrical, a lovely evening, is it not? The sunsets here are quite extraordinary. I have always found them to be among the finest in all of Eos.
Cautious, they are.
Forgive me, I do not mean to intrude. I simply noticed you sitting here alone and thought, well, a young woman sitting alone on a beach at sunset is either waiting for someone or thinking very hard about something. Which is it for you?
Neither. Both. I am not sure.
Amused and honest answer. I appreciate that. My name is Arden. Arden Izunia. I am a Chancellor of the Niflheim Empire, currently on a diplomatic mission of sorts. And you are?
Carefully, just a traveler.
Of course, just a traveler. You know, I have met many travelers in my time, but very few of them have eyes quite like yours. The eyes of someone who carries a great deal of history, a great deal of purpose.
You are very perceptive for a diplomat.
I am very perceptive for many things. I wonder, have you heard the story of the Chosen King?
Everyone has heard that story.
Have they? The real story? Not the sanitized version the Lucian royal family tells. The actual story. The one about what the prophecy truly demands. What it truly costs. No? I thought not. Perhaps one day you will hear it. Safe travels, young lady. Whatever road you are on, I hope it leads somewhere worth going.
To herself, quietly, who are you?
Morning. The ferry dock. The group arrived to find the dock sealed off by Imperial soldiers. A Nibelheim officer stood at the gate, flanked by 2 Magitech troopers.
Ferry service to Alticia has been suspended indefinitely by order of the Nibelheim Empire. All travel to the outer islands is restricted until further notice. On what grounds? Security grounds. Move along.
Low voice, easy.
Through gritted teeth, we need to get to Alticia.
Not this way. Not today. We will need to find another route.
Or another way to make the Empire look the other way.
Are we going to fight them?
Not here. Too exposed. Too many civilians.
We retreat. Regroup. I have an alternative in mind.
They withdrew from the dock and reconvened at the resort. Agnes spread a map across the table of their rented room and began to outline an alternative plan.
There is a man in Lestalem, a city in the Duscae region, further inland. His name is Dino. He is a jeweler and a fence with connections to the underground networks that still operate outside Imperial control. He may be able to arrange passage to Alticia through unofficial channels.
How do you know about him?
Your father's intelligence network was quite thorough. I was briefed before we departed Insomnia.
Father thought of everything.
He tried to. He could not have anticipated every contingency. But he gave us the tools to adapt. That is what we must do now. Adapt.
Lestalem it is. How far?
2 days' drive through the Duscae region. There are several royal tombs along the route. We can collect more royal arms on the way.
Then we go. We do not waste the detour.
Agreed. Let us move.
The Dusky region was a different world from the dry, golden deserts of Leda. Here the land was green and rolling, cut through with rivers and dotted with ancient ruins. The air was cooler. The sky was wider. And the demons were more numerous. They drove in relative silence for a long time, each lost in their own thoughts. The radio played static-laced fragments of news from across Eos, reports of Imperial troop movements, of cities falling, of refugees flooding the roads. The world was changing, fast and irreversibly, and there was nothing any of them could do to stop it except keep moving.
Breaking the silence. Okay. I have a new question.
Oh no.
If you could go anywhere in the world, anywhere at all, no responsibilities, no prophecy, no empire, where would you go?
The Claim region. There are mountains there that nobody has ever climbed. I would climb them.
Ignis? Tenebrae. I have always wished to visit the Oracle's homeland. The gardens there are said to be extraordinary. Reyna?
Somewhere quiet. Somewhere with no one who knows my name. A small house by the sea. A garden. Books. Time.
That is beautiful. Noct?
Wherever Luna is.
Yeah, that is a good answer.
Quietly, to Noctis, you really love her.
I have loved her since I was 8 years old, and she wrote me a letter in the back of a notebook and had it smuggled across the border. She was 12. She wrote about flowers, about the sky, about how she hoped I was not as sad as I seemed in the photographs.
She always saw you clearly.
She always saw everyone clearly. That is what the Oracle does. She sees the truth of things, and she still chose to be my friend, after everything.
She did not just choose to be your friend, Noct. She chose you.
I am going to make it to Alticia. I am going to marry her, and then I am going to figure out the rest.
We will figure it out together.
They made camp near the ruins of an old Lucian outpost, 3 hours' drive from Lestalem. The night was clear and cold. Agnes cooked. Prompto took photographs of the stars. Gladio read. Noctis and Reyna sat by the fire and said nothing, which was its own kind of conversation. Then the demons came.
Suddenly alert, everyone up. Demons. 3 o'clock.
How many?
6. No, 8. More coming from the north.
Reyna, take the left flank. Ignis, cover Prompto.
On it. During combat, Noct, there is a Noctilucale behind you.
I see it. Warping sound, impact.
Prompto, reload. I have your back.
Reloading. Cover me.
With effort, big one coming in from the east. Someone handle it.
I have it. Magic surge, creature cry, then silence.
Breathless. Is everyone okay?
Checking himself. Yeah. Few scratches. Nothing serious. I am unharmed. Noctis?
Fine, Reyna.
Catching her breath, fine. I am fine. That was more than usual.
The diamonds are growing bolder. The longer the nights last, the further they range. We must be more careful about where we make camp. And we need to keep moving. Every night we spend in the open is a risk.
Quietly, looking at the sky. The nights are getting longer, are they not? I have been watching. Each night is a few minutes longer than the last.
Carefully, yes. The star scourge is progressing. Without the crystal, the rate of progression will accelerate.
Which means we have less time than we thought.
Then we do not waste any more of it. We move at first light. We get to Lestalem. We find a way to Altissia.
Agreed.
Lestalem was the last great free city of Lucas, a sprawling, vibrant place built around a massive meteorite called the Meteor of the Six, which generated enough heat and energy to power the entire city. Its streets were loud and crowded and smelled of spices and exhaust and the particular kind of human energy that comes from a city that knows it is surrounded by darkness and has decided, defiantly, to keep its lights burning anyway. They arrived in the afternoon and immediately drew stares. 5 young people in a Lucian-made car, carrying weapons that flickered with the unmistakable light of royal arms. They were not exactly inconspicuous.
Looking around in wonder, this place is incredible. How have I never been here before?
Because before last week, you had never left Insomnia.
Fair point.
Looking around carefully, there are Imperial informants here. I can see at least 2 from where I am standing. We need to be careful about what we say and who we say it to.
Agreed. We find Dino, we arrange passage, and we do not linger.
Right. Let us split up. Prompto, you are with me. Ignis, Gladio, take the South Market. Reyna.
I will find Dino. I know what to look for.
You sure?
I grew up reading Father's intelligence briefings when he was not looking. I know how to find people who do not want to be found.
Impressed despite himself, all right. 1 hour. We meet back at the car.
Reyna moved through the market with practiced ease, reading the city the way her father had taught her, not through official channels, but through the small signs that only someone paying attention would notice. The way the vendors angled their stalls. The way certain people's eyes tracked certain other people. The way the flow of foot traffic bent around certain corners. She found Dino in the back room of a gemstone shop, surrounded by uncut stones and half-finished jewelry, arguing with the supplier in 3 languages simultaneously.
No, no, no. I said lapis, not lazurite. Do you know the difference? Of course you do not, because if you did, you would not be standing here trying to sell me lazurite and calling it lapis.
Clearing her throat, excuse me.
We are closed. Can you not see I am? You are Reina Lucas Selim.
I am just a traveler.
Of course you are. Of course. To the supplier, get out. Come back tomorrow with the right stones. Door closes. To Reina, I heard you were dead.
Clearly not.
Clearly not. What do you need?
Passage to Altisha. 4 or 5 people. Unofficial.
That is not a small ask. The Empire has the sea lanes locked down tight since the fall of Insomnia. Getting 5 people across the Sigillin without Imperial notice is going to cost.
Name your price.
There is a stone. A lapis lazuli of unusual quality, supposedly buried in a ruin near the Malmalam thicket. I have been trying to get my hands on it for years, but the ruins are demon-infested and my usual people will not go near them. You bring me that stone, I get you to Altisha.
Done.
Just like that?
Just like that. We will be back within 2 days.
Your father would be proud of you, princess.
Do not call me that. Not here.
The Malmalan thicket was a dense, ancient forest on the edge of the Clane region, a place where the trees grew so thick that daylight barely reached the ground, and where the ruins of a pre-imperial civilization lay half-buried in roots and moss and centuries of silence. It was beautiful and deeply unsettling in equal measure. They entered at dawn and immediately understood why Dino's people had refused to come.
There are demons everywhere. Like, everywhere.
Keep your voice down. Sound travels in here. The ruin should be approximately half a mile north. We move quietly, we avoid engagement where possible, and we do not separate.
Noct, stay close to me. The trees block your warp range.
I know.
They moved through the thicket in single file, Gladio at the front, Ignis at the rear, Noctis and Reina in the middle with Prompto between them. The forest was alive with sound, the creak of ancient wood, the distant cry of something large and nocturnal, the soft rustle of something moving in the undergrowth just out of sight.
Something is following us.
I know. Do not look at it. Keep moving.
It is a Treant. Ancient tree demon. If we do not disturb it, it will not attack.
And if we do disturb it?
Then we run very fast.
They reached the ruins without incident, a cluster of crumbling stone structures half swallowed by the forest, their walls carved with symbols that predated the Lucian royal line by centuries. In the center of the largest structure, exactly where Dino had said it would be, was the stone.
There it is.
It is beautiful.
Take it quickly. We need to leave before. Too late. Everyone back.
The demon that emerged from the ruins was unlike anything they had faced before, a creature of pure darkness, ancient and enormous, its form shifting and unstable. It moved with terrible speed for something so large, and its first strike sent Gladio flying into a stone wall with a crack that made Reina's heart stop.
Gladio.
I am fine. Keep fighting.
Reina, high ground. Prompto, blinded. Ignis, flank left.
Noctis. The ruins are collapsing. We need to end this now.
I know. Everyone clear.
Shaking, is it dead?
Yeah. Yeah, it is dead.
Are you sure you are all right? That hit looked.
I am fine. takes more than a demon to put me down. Good call on the high ground, by the way.
Do not thank me yet. Let us get out of here before something else shows up.
Got it. Let us go.
I have been thinking about what that man at Galden Quay said. Arden. He said he knew the real story of the prophecy. The one the royal family does not tell. I have been trying not to think about it. I have been trying to focus on the next step, the next tomb, the next obstacle. But his words keep coming back to me in the quiet moments. What does the prophecy truly cost? I know the official version. The King of Light gathers the power of the crystal, calls upon the astrals, and uses the power of the ring of the Lucii to banish the darkness. It is a story of triumph. Of sacrifice, yes, but sacrifice that leads to victory. But there is something in the way everyone speaks around it. Cor Ignis. Even Father, in those last letters. They speak around the ending. They describe the journey but never quite describe the destination. I am a Lucas Selim. I was raised on the old texts. I know how to read between the lines. I am not going to say it out loud. Not yet. Not until I know for certain. Because if I am right, then every moment I spend worrying about it is a moment I am not spending helping Noct get there. And getting there is the only thing that matters. He is sleeping right now. I can hear him breathing from across the camp. He looks so young when he sleeps. He always has. Like the weight of the world falls away and he is just a person again, not a prince, not a prophecy. Just my brother. I would burn the world down to keep him safe. I know that is not what a princess is supposed to say. I know it is not what the oracle would say, or what Ignis would say, or what Father would say. But it is true. It is the truest thing I know. I would burn the world down to keep him safe. And somehow I have to find a way to help him save it instead.
Dino was as good as his word. 2 days after they returned with the stone, he had arranged passage on a private vessel, a converted fishing boat captained by a taciturn woman named Urania who had, until recently, been a commander in the Nibelheim military before a disagreement with her superiors had led to a somewhat abrupt career change.
Brisk, no nonsense. 5 passengers, 2 days crossing, no questions asked. That is the deal. You stay out of my way, I stay out of yours. We dock at Alticia's back harbor, away from the Imperial checkpoints. From there, you are on your own.
That is acceptable. Thank you.
Do not thank me. I am doing this for the money, not out of the goodness of my heart. Although, you really do look like him, you know. Your father. Same eyes.
Yeah, people say that.
He was a good man. For a king. Get on board. We leave in an hour.
The crossing was 2 days of open water, gray skies, and the particular kind of enforced stillness that comes from being on a small boat with nowhere to go. They slept in shifts. Ignis cooked on a portable stove. Prompto photographed the sea. Gladio trained on the deck, which made the boat rock alarmingly. And Noctis and Reyna sat at the prow and watched the horizon and talked about everything and nothing.
Do you remember when we were kids and we used to sneak out of the Citadel at night?
You mean when you used to drag me out of the Citadel at night and then blame me when we got caught?
I never blamed you.
You absolutely blamed me. Every single time. You would look at Father with those big eyes and say, Reyna's idea, and I would be standing right there.
Okay, yes. I did do that. I am sorry.
You are not sorry at all.
No, but it was funny.
It was not funny.
It was a little funny.
It was a little funny.
Sobering, I miss it. I miss being that age, when the worst thing that could happen was getting caught sneaking out.
Me too. But we are still here, Noct. We are still us. Whatever happens next, that does not change.
Promise?
I promise.
Altissia rose from the sea like a dream, a city built on a cluster of islands connected by bridges and waterways, its architecture a blend of ancient stone and modern elegance, its canals reflecting the pale morning light. It was the most beautiful city any of them had ever seen, and for a moment, standing at the prow of Arrhenia's boat as it slid into the back harbor, they were all simply silent.
Barely above a whisper, wow. Yeah. We should proceed directly to the First Secretary's office. Camelia Claustra controls access to the city. We will need her cooperation to arrange a meeting with the Oracle.
And Luna? Where is she?
She is here, in the city. She arrived 3 days ago, but she is under Imperial observation. Any direct contact will need to be handled carefully.
She is so close.
I know.
We will get you to her, Noct. I promise.
I know you will. You always do.
They disembarked at the back harbor and made their way through the winding streets of Altissia, past cafes and flower markets and the particular kind of tourist bustle that persisted even in the shadow of an imperial occupation. The city was tense beneath its beauty, soldiers at every major intersection, checkpoints on the main bridges, the subtle machinery of control operating just below the surface of ordinary life. But it was also alive. Defiantly, stubbornly alive. And that, Reyna thought, was something worth fighting for. Camelia Claustra, First Secretary of Altissia, was a woman who had survived 30 years of political upheaval through a combination of intelligence, pragmatism, and an absolute refusal to be impressed by anyone. She received them in her office overlooking the Grand Canal, behind a desk that was impeccably organized and a face that gave nothing away.
So, the Crown Prince of Lucis. I had heard you were dead.
Apparently not.
Apparently not. And what, precisely, do you want from me?
Access to the Oracle. Lady Lunafreya is in your city. We need to meet with her.
Lady Lunafreya is in my city under Imperial observation. Any unauthorized contact with her would constitute a violation of the ceasefire agreement between Altissia and the Nibelheim Empire. An agreement that is currently the only thing keeping Imperial forces from occupying this city.
With respect, First Secretary, the ceasefire agreement is a fiction. The Empire does not honor agreements. They use them. And when they no longer need Altissia's cooperation, they will take the city regardless of what agreements are in place.
You are the princess, the twin.
I am.
You speak plainly for a royal.
I was raised by a man who believed that plain speech was a form of respect. I am trying to honor that.
What do you propose?
A public ceremony. The Oracle summons the Hydrian, the Astral of the Sea. I earn her blessing. It happens openly, in front of the city, in front of the Empire. They cannot stop it without revealing that they are afraid of it.
The Hydrian has not been summoned in living memory. The last time she was called, she destroyed half a coastline.
I know, but it is the only way.
Very long pause. If I allow this, and it goes wrong, this city burns.
If you do not allow this, the world burns. The choice is yours, First Secretary, but I think you already know which one you are going to make.
You are very much your father's son.
I am trying to be.
They arranged the meeting through Camelia's network, a quiet room and a private residence near the canal, away from Imperial eyes. Noctis went alone. Or rather, he went with Reyna, because there was no version of this moment in which Reyna was not present. Lunafreya Nox Fleuret was waiting for them when they arrived. She was smaller than Reyna had expected, slender and pale, with eyes the color of winter sky and a stillness about her that was not coldness but something deeper. The stillness of someone who had learned, very young, to hold themselves very carefully because the world was always watching. She looked at Noctis and something in that stillness cracked, just slightly, around the edges.
Noctis.
Voice rough, Luna.
Noticing Reyna, and you must be Reyna. I have heard so much about you. And I have heard so much about you. I will give you two a moment. Please stay. There is not much time, and there are things you both need to hear. The Ring of the Lucii. Do you have it?
COR said you were bringing it.
I have it. But before I give it to you, I need you to understand what it means. What it will demand of you. The ring is not simply a conduit for the crystal's power. It is a covenant. A covenant between the King of Light and the Lucii, the spirits of every king who came before you. When you put it on, they will judge you. And if they find you wanting, it will kill you.
I know.
Do you? Truly?
I know what the prophecy says, Luna. I know what it costs. I have known for a long time.
Yes. I believe you do. Then take it. Luna. The prophecy. The ending. Does he? Yes. I see. He has always known, Reyna. And he has chosen it anyway. That is what makes him the true king. Struggling to keep her voice steady, and you? You have known too? Since I was 12 years old. I have made my peace with it. I hope, in time, you can too. I do not think I can. But I will try.
The night before the summoning of the Hydreian, the group gathered on the terrace of their rented rooms overlooking the Grand Canal. The city was lit up below them, thousands of lights reflected in the water, a mirror of the sky. Somewhere in the distance, music played. Altissia was alive and luminous and beautiful, and none of them could quite look at it without thinking that this might be the last night it looked this way.
Can I take a photo? Of all of us? Together? Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. Good. That is a good one. Whatever happens tomorrow, I want you all to know it has been an honor. Serving you. Traveling with you. All of it. Do not get sentimental on me, Specs. I am simply being accurate. Yeah. Same. All of it.
I could not have gotten this far without any of you. I want you to know that. Whatever happens, I know that.
We know, Noct.
No, I mean it. Gladio, you have been my shield since before I knew I needed one. Ignis, you have been my compass when I could not find north. Prompto, you have been my reminder that the world is worth saving. And Reyna, you have been my other half. My whole life. I do not know who I am without you.
You are not going to find out.
Promise?
I promise.
Hey, whatever happens tomorrow, we face it together, right?
Together. The summoning took place at dawn, at the great fountain at the center of Altissia, a place of ancient power, where the sea met the city and the sky met the water. The citizens of Altissia lined the bridges and the canal banks, watching in silence. Imperial soldiers watched from their posts, uncertain whether to intervene, uncertain what they were watching. Lunafria stood at the edge of the fountain, her white robes bright against the gray morning sky. She raised her trident, the oracle staff, passed down through generations of her family, and began to speak in the ancient tongue of the Astrals. The water began to move.
In the ancient tongue, then translated by narrator, Leviathan. Hydreian, keeper of the seas. Hear the oracle's call. The chosen king stands before you. Judge him. Test him. And if he is worthy, grant him your blessing.
What happened next would be spoken of in Altissia for generations. The Hydreion rose from the canal in a column of water and fury, ancient and terrible and magnificent, her form filling the sky above the city, her voice a sound that was felt more than heard, a vibration in the chest and the bones and the deepest part of the mind.
Vast, inhuman voice, mortal, you dare stand before me. You, who carry the blood of kings who have failed before you. You, who carry the burden of a dying world. What makes you worthy of my blessing?
Steady, despite everything, nothing. I am not worthy. I know that. I am not here because I deserve your blessing. I am here because the world needs it. Because without it, the darkness wins. And I am not willing to let that happen.
Pretty words. Words are nothing. Show me.
The trial lasted an hour. In that hour, Noctis fought the Hydreion with everything he had, every royal arm, every skill, every ounce of power he had gathered on the long road from Insomnia. He was thrown into the water. He was struck by lightning. He was held under the surface until his lungs burned and his vision went dark. And every time, he came back up. On the shore, Reyna watched with her hands clenched at her sides and her heart in her throat, unable to help, unable to look away.
To herself, barely audible, come on. Come on, Noct. Come on.
The Hydreion looked down at the battered, half-drawn figure of Noctis Lucas Selim, standing knee-deep in the canal with blood on his face and the ring of the Lucii glowing on his hand.
After a long pause, you are worthy. Not because you are strong, but because you refuse to stop. Take my blessing, chosen king, and carry it well.
Noct. Noct, I have got you. I have got you.
Exhausted, barely conscious, did it work?
Holding him, yes. Yes, it worked. You did it.
Good. Tell Ignis I want breakfast.
You are impossible.
The aftermath of the trial was chaos. Imperial forces moved on the city. Lunafria was wounded in the attack, not fatally, but badly enough that she was taken to the city's medical center under heavy guard. Noctis was unconscious for 3 hours. And the group found themselves, once again, on the run. They escaped Altissia on the same boat they had arrived on. Arania, characteristically, had not left.
As they board, I figured you would need a way out. I was right.
You waited for us.
Do not read too much into it. I am still doing this for the money. How is the prince?
He will be all right. He needs rest.
And the oracle?
She is alive. She is safe. For now.
Good. Where to?
North. We need to go north. There are more royal tombs. More power to gather. And then.
And then?
And then we go back. We take back what was taken from us. We reclaim the crystal. We end this.
You sound very certain of that.
I am not certain of anything. But I am committed. There is a difference.
Yeah, there is.
I know now. I have known since Luna told me, but I have been trying to find a way around it, a loophole, a different interpretation. There is not one. I have read every version of the prophecy I can find. I have asked Ignis, carefully, obliquely, in ways that would not reveal what I know. And every time, the answer is the same. The King of Light must give his life to bring the dawn. Noctis is going to die. He knows. He has always known. And he is still here, still moving forward, still gathering power and earning blessings and doing everything the prophecy demands of him. Not because he has to. Because he chooses to. Because he believes the world is worth saving even at that cost. I do not know how to hold that. I do not know how to look at my brother, my twin, my other half, the person I have known since before I was born, and know that he is walking toward his own death and there is nothing I can do to stop it. But I am beginning to understand something. My job is not to stop it. My job is to make sure it means something. My job is to make sure that when the dawn comes, when Noct gives everything he has to bring the light back, there is a world left to receive it. A world worth the price he is paying. That is what I am here for. Not to save him. To make his sacrifice matter. I hate that. I hate it with everything I have. But I am going to do it anyway. Because he would do it for me. Because he is doing it for everyone. Because we are Lucas Selim. And we do not stop.
The weeks that followed were the hardest of the journey. They traveled north through the Klein region, through the Malmalam thicket and beyond, into territories where the nights were already noticeably longer than they should have been. The demons were more numerous, more aggressive, more powerful. They fought every night and drove every day and slept in shifts and kept moving. They collected royal arms. They earned astral blessings Rama, the Fulgurian, Lord of Lightning, who tested Noctis with storms that split the sky. Shiva, the Glacian, who appeared not as an enemy but as a presence, ancient and cold and sorrowful, who granted her blessing with a gentleness that surprised them all. And with each blessing, Noctis changed. Subtly, incrementally, but Reyna saw it. The way he carried himself. The way he spoke. The way his eyes, when he thought no one was watching, held something ancient and heavy and resigned. He was becoming the King of Light. And with every step toward the destiny, he was moving further from the boy she had grown up with.
During a quiet moment at camp, you are different.
Not looking up, am I?
Since the Hydrian. Since Rama. You are carrying something new.
I am carrying a lot of things.
I know. I am not asking you to put them down. I am asking you to let me carry some of them with you.
The Lucii, when I use the ring, I can hear them. All of them. Every king who came before me. They are all in there, in the ring, in the crystal's power. And they are all so tired, Reyna. They have been waiting so long. For this. For me.
That is a heavy thing to carry.
Yeah, it is. But I am not alone in it. That is what I keep reminding myself. I am not alone.
You are not. You never will be.
They encountered Arden Izunia again in the ruins of an old Lucian fort in the northern Klein region. He was waiting for them, as if he had known they were coming, which, Reyna suspected, he had.
Pleasantly, what a delightful surprise. Or rather, not a surprise at all. I have been following your progress with great interest, your highnesses.
Wary, what do you want?
Want? Nothing, really. I simply thought it was time we had a proper conversation. You have been on the road for quite a while now, gathering power, earning blessings, following the prophecy like obedient little pilgrims. I thought you might appreciate some context.
We met at Galden Quay. You said you knew the real story of the prophecy.
You remembered. Good. Yes, the real story. Would you like to hear it?
Tense talk.
2,000 years ago, there was a man, a healer, a man who loved his people so much that when the star scourge began to spread, he absorbed it into his own body, took the darkness into himself to save others. He was supposed to be celebrated, honored, made a king. Instead, the crystal rejected him. The astrals rejected him, because the darkness he had absorbed had changed him, made him something other than human. And so they cast him out. They called him a demon. They imprisoned him. And they waited for someone pure enough, someone untainted, to do what he had tried to do, to use the crystal's power to purge the darkness from the world. with a smile that does not reach his eyes me. I am Arden Izunia. I am also Arden Lucas Selim, the first of your line, the one who was supposed to be the true king 2,000 years before your brother was born.
Slowly, you have been alive for 2,000 years.
Immortality is not the gift it sounds like. I assure you, I am not telling you this to gain your sympathy. I am telling you this because you deserve to know what you are walking into. The crystal does not care about you, Noctis. It does not care about any of you. It cares about the prophecy, about the purging of the darkness. And the method it has chosen for that purging requires a vessel. A king pure enough to absorb the crystal's light and use it to burn the darkness away. From the inside.
He has to absorb the darkness. Like you did.
Like I did. Except that the crystal will not reject him. Because he is pure. Because he has earned the blessings of the Six. Because he has gathered the power of all his ancestors. He will be able to do what I could not. He will be able to purge the darkness, and the purging will consume him.
I know.
Surprised for just a moment, you know.
I have always known. Why are you telling me this?
Because I wanted someone to know the full story, before the end. Because I have been carrying it alone for 2,000 years, and I am very, very tired of carrying things alone. The mask returning, but do not mistake this for sentiment. We are still enemies, you and I. The prophecy demands it. I am the darkness that must be purged. You are the light that must purge it. That is the story. That is how it ends.
Does it have to?
Yes, I think it does. I think it has always had to. Goodbye, Noctis. Goodbye, Reina. I hope the dawn, when it comes, is worth the price.
Not.
I know.
Are you all right?
No, but I will be. We keep moving.
We keep moving.
The final approach to insomnia took place in a world that was barely recognizable as the one they had left. The nights were now longer than the days. The demons roamed freely even in daylight hours. The roads were empty. The cities were dark. The world was dying, slowly but unmistakably, and the only thing standing between it and total darkness was the 5 people in a black car driving toward the ruins of a city they had once called home.
I barely recognize it. It has only been months. It feels like years. It is the darkness. It compresses time, makes everything feel older and heavier than it is.
It is still there. The Citadel. I can see it.
Yeah, it is still standing.
Father always said the Citadel would stand as long as there was a Lucas Selim to defend it.
Then it is going to stand a little longer.
Whatever happens in there, we go in together. We come out together. Agreed.
Together.
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 The battle for insomnia was everything they had trained for and nothing they had prepared for. The city was a labyrinth of ruins and darkness, swarming with demons and Magitech soldiers and the particular kind of despair that comes from fighting in a place that used to be home. They fought their way through the city block by block, street by street, the way they had learned to fight on the long road from Hammerhead to Altisha and back, together, covering each other, adapting, never stopping. And at the center of it all, waiting in the ruins of the Citadel throne room, was Arden.
Quietly, when they arrive, you made it. I am almost surprised.
Steady, step aside, Arden.
And let you reach the crystal? Of course, that is, after all, the point. But first, I believe there is a matter of personal reckoning between us. 2,000 years of waiting. 2,000 years of carrying the darkness. I think I have earned the right to make this difficult.
The battle between Noctis and Arden was unlike anything that had come before. It was not simply a fight between two people. It was the collision of two destinies, the darkness that had waited 2,000 years for release, and the light that had been born to provide it. The citadel shook around them. The crystal pulsed with power. The ring of the Lucii blazed on Noctis's hand. And when it was over, when Arden fell, and the darkness in him finally found release, Noctis stood in the center of the throne room and looked at his sister.
It is time.
I know.
Take care of them. Prompto, Gladio, Ignis. Take care of them.
I will. I promise.
And take care of yourself. Please, I need you to promise me that.
I promise.
I love you, Reina. You know that, right?
I know. I love you too. I have loved you since before I knew what love was. Since before we were born.
Smiling slightly, since before we were born. Yeah. Hey, Reina.
Yeah?
Do not look back.
Okay.
And do not stop.
We never do.
Quietly, to himself, for Lucas. For everyone. For you.
The dawn came. After months of lengthening nights, after the slow creeping darkness that had threatened to swallow the world whole, the sun rose over the ruins of Insomnia, and the light was extraordinary, golden and warm, and so bright it hurt to look at, the way the sun always hurts to look at after you have been in the dark for too long. The demons dissolved. The star scourge retreated. The crystal, freed from the Empire's grasp, pulsed with renewed light. And in the throne room of the citadel, Reina Lucas Selim stood alone in the light and let herself grieve.
The dawn came. Just like he said it would. Just like the prophecy said it would. The world is still here. The darkness is gone. The crystal is free. The people are safe. He did it. He did everything he promised he would do. I keep thinking about what he said. Do not look back. Do not stop. I am trying. I am really trying. But some mornings I wake up and reach for my phone to call him before I remember. Some mornings the grief is so fresh it feels like it just happened. And then I look out the window and I see the sun. And I remember. He gave everything he had so that the sun would rise. So that every person on Eos would wake up to a morning. So that the world would keep going. The least I can do is keep going with it. Prompto is outside taking photographs of the sunrise. He has been up since before dawn, waiting for it. Gladio is rebuilding. He has thrown himself into the reconstruction of Insomnia with the same intensity he throws into everything. Ignis is planning. He is always planning. He says there is a lot of work to do, and he is right. And me? I am going to do what Father asked. What Noct asked. I am going to take care of them. I am going to help rebuild what was broken. I am going to make sure that the world Noct gave everything for is worth what he paid for it. I am a Lucas Selim. And I do not stop. Not for anyone. Not even grief.
In the years that followed, Reina Lucas Selim became something the prophecy had not predicted and the histories had not prepared for. Not a princess waiting for rescue, not a supporting figure in someone else's story, but a queen in her own right. A builder. A leader. A keeper of the dawn. She rebuilt Insomnia stone by stone, policy by policy, relationship by relationship. She forged new alliances with the people of Tenebrae and the remnants of the Nibelheim Empire who wanted peace. She worked alongside Ignis and Gladio and Prompto and a dozen others who had survived the darkness and chosen, like her, to keep going. She never stopped grieving. She never pretended she had. But she also never let the grief become the whole story. Because the whole story was bigger than grief. The whole story was the dawn. The whole story was the world that Noctis had given everything to save, going on, and living, and being worth it. She made sure of that. Every single day, she made sure of that.
For Lucas. For everyone. For you.
3 weeks into the journey, the group had made camp in the ruins of an old Lucian way station on the edge of the dusky plains. The fire was low. The stars were out. Gladio sat on watch while the others slept, his greatsword across his knees, his eyes moving steadily across the darkness. He heard footsteps behind him and did not turn.
You should be asleep.
Sitting down beside him, I could not sleep. You have been quiet today. More than usual.
I am always quiet.
You are always contained. That is different from quiet. Today you were quiet.
I keep thinking about Iris. My sister. She is in Lestalem. She is safe, as far as I know. But I have not been able to reach her since insomnia fell. The communication networks are down across most of Lucas.
I know. I am sorry.
She is tough. Tougher than she looks. She will be all right.
She will. She is a Mysitia. Toughness runs in the family.
Slight smile, yeah. It does. Can I ask you something?
Of course.
How are you actually doing? Not the princess answer. Not the we do not stop answer. How are you actually doing?
I am terrified. Every single day. I am terrified that something will happen to Noct before he can fulfill the prophecy. I am terrified that something will happen to one of you. I am terrified that I am not strong enough for whatever is coming. And I am grieving. Constantly. My father is dead. My home is gone. The world I grew up in does not exist anymore. And I do not have time to process any of it because we have to keep moving.
Yeah. I know that feeling.
Do you ever think about stopping? Just stopping. Finding somewhere safe and waiting for it to be over?
Every day. And then I think about what I would be stopping for. And I get up and keep going.
What do you think about? When you think about what you are fighting for?
Iris. My father's memory. The people in Lestalem and everywhere else who are just trying to survive. And you lot. Honestly. You lot are the most infuriating, complicated, impossible people I have ever had to protect. And I would not trade it for anything.
That might be the nicest thing you have ever said to any of us.
Do not tell anyone. I have a reputation to maintain.
Your secret is safe with me.
Get some sleep, Reina. I have got the watch.
Gladio. For what it is worth, you are the best shield anyone could ask for. And I mean that. Not just for Noct. For all of us.
Get some sleep.
Smiling, good night, Gladio.
Ignis Scientia had been preparing for this journey his entire life. He had been assigned to Noctis' service at the age of 6, a child placed in the service of another child, both of them too young to understand what that meant. He had grown up alongside the twins, learned alongside them, trained alongside them. He had watched Noctis grow from a sullen, grief-stricken boy into something approaching a prince. He had watched Reina grow from a fierce, impulsive girl into something approaching a leader. He had never, not once in all those years, allowed himself to think about what he wanted for himself. He thought about it now, driving through the dusky night while the others slept, the road unrolling ahead of him in the headlights.
I have been running calculations. It is what I do. It is what I have always done. I calculate the odds, I assess the variables, I plan for contingencies. It is how I serve. It is how I protect. The calculations lately have been troubling. The prophecy is not a mystery to me. I have read the same texts Raina has read. I have drawn the same conclusions. I know what the true king must do. I know what it costs. And I know that Noctis knows, and that knowing has not slowed him down by a single step. I find myself in the unusual position of having no plan for what comes after. I have planned for every contingency on this journey, every possible obstacle, every potential threat, every route, an alternative to the alternative. But I have not planned for the world after the dawn, because planning for it would require acknowledging that Noctis will not be in it. And I am not ready to do that. I know I must. I know that part of my job, the most important part, perhaps, is to ensure that when the dawn comes, there is a structure in place to receive it. That Raina is positioned to lead. That the others are supported. That the world Noctis is giving everything for has people ready to rebuild it. I will do that. I will plan for it. I will be ready. But not tonight. Tonight I will drive and watch the road and not think about the ending. Just for tonight.
Prompto Argentum had a secret that he had been carrying since before the journey began. He had been born in Nibelheim. He was a Magitech experiment, a child born from the same program that created the Empire's mechanical soldiers. He had been smuggled out as an infant, adopted by a Lucian family, and had spent his entire childhood terrified that someone would find out what he was. Noctis knew. He had always known, in the way that best friends always know the things that matter. He had never said anything. He had never needed to. But the journey had brought Prompto closer to the truth of his origins than he had ever been before, and some nights the weight of it was almost more than he could carry.
I take pictures because I am afraid of forgetting. That is the honest answer. I am afraid that if I do not capture things, moments, people, places, they will disappear and I will not be able to prove they were real. I have been afraid of that my whole life. Afraid of disappearing. Afraid that without proof, without documentation, would just cease to matter. Look at this one. Knocked, asleep in the car, head against the window, mouth slightly open. He is going to hate this photograph. He is going to demand I delete it. I am never deleting it. And this one. Raina at Galden Quay, watching the sunset, not knowing I was taking the picture. She looks, I do not know how to describe it. Like someone who is holding the whole world in her hands and trying not to drop it. And this one. Gladio and Ignis arguing about the route at a crossroads, both of them absolutely certain they are right, neither of them willing to admit the other might have a point. They do this every time. It is one of my favorite things. I do not know what I am in this story. I am not the prince. I am not the princess. I am not the shield or the advisor. I am just Prompto. Just the kid from the city who somehow ended up on the most important road trip in the history of Eos. But I am here. And I am paying attention. And I am capturing every moment I can. Because these people, these impossible, extraordinary people, deserve to be remembered. And I am going to make sure they are.
The Tomb of the Tall stood in the dusky region, half submerged in a lake that had risen around it over centuries. To reach it required crossing the lake by boat, a small, leaky vessel that Prompto regarded with deep suspicion and Gladio regarded with the cheerful indifference of someone who had never been afraid of water.
I want to state for the record that I do not like this. Noted. The boat is making a noise.
Boats make noises.
Not that kind of noise. That is a bad noise. That is a we are sinking noise.
We are not sinking, Prompto.
How do you know?
Because I checked the hull before we departed. We are not sinking.
Okay, but what if?
Prompto. Look at the water.
Oh. Oh, it is that color again. Like a painting.
Like a painting. Focus on that.
Calming, yeah. Yeah, okay. It really is beautiful out here.
It really is.
The tomb itself was ancient and vast, larger than the Tomb of the Wise, its chambers carved with murals depicting the life and battles of the king who lay within. Noctis moved through it alone, as he always did, while the others waited at the entrance. But this time, when he emerged, something was different. He was pale. His hands were shaking slightly.
Knocked. What happened?
I saw something. In the tomb. A vision. The Lucii showed me. They showed me what the final night will look like. What I will have to do. It is more than I thought. It is a lot.
Are you all right?
I will be. I just need a minute.
Take all the time you need.
Sitting down on the tomb steps, you know what I keep thinking about? That conversation we had when we were 12. Do you remember? We snuck out of the citadel and climbed up to the roof of the old library and sat up there for hours, looking at the city.
I remember. You said you wanted to see what insomnia looked like from above. Because you had only ever seen it from inside.
And you said it looked like a galaxy. All those lights.
It did. It really did.
I want it to look like that again. After. I want someone to be able to climb up to a roof somewhere and look out at the city and see all those lights.
They will. I promise they will.
Okay, let us keep moving.
The Fulgurian, Rama, Lord of Lightning, was the oldest of the six, a being so ancient that the mountains themselves seemed young beside him. He did not appear in a dramatic summoning or a formal ceremony. He appeared in a storm on a high plateau in the northern dusky region, as lightning split the sky and the rain came down in sheets.
Shouting over the storm, Rama, I am Noctis Lucas Selim. I seek your blessing.
Voice like thunder, everywhere at once, I know who you are, child. I have known since before you were born. The question is not who you are. The question is what you are willing to become.
Whatever I need to become, to save this world.
Bold words. Let us see if they are true.
Rama's trial was not a battle. It was an endurance test, a sustained assault of lightning and wind and rain, designed not to defeat Noctis but to exhaust him. To find the point at which he would break. To discover whether the will that drove him was real or merely the confidence of someone who had not yet been truly tested. It took 2 hours. By the end, Noctis was on his knees, soaked to the bone, his hands shaking, his vision blurring. But he was still there. Still kneeling, not lying down. Still facing the storm.
Quietly, the storm easing. Why do you not fall?
Because if I fall, they lose. And I am not going to let them lose.
Who are they?
Everyone. My sister. My friends. The people in Lestalem and everywhere else who are just trying to survive. Luna. My father. I am not going to let his sacrifice be for nothing.
Very long pause, you are worthy, child. Not because you are powerful. Because you know what you are fighting for. Take my blessing. And do not waste it.
Running to Noctis. Knocked. Are you?
Exhausted, being helped up. I am fine. I am fine. Did you see that? The lightning?
We all saw it. We were terrified.
Small smile, sorry.
Do not be sorry. Just, next time, warn me before you challenge an ancient god to a lightning duel.
I will try to work that into the schedule.
Shiva, the Glacian, was different from the others. She did not demand a trial. She did not test Noctis' strength or endurance or will. She simply appeared in a snowfield in the northern Clane region on a clear, cold night as a presence of extraordinary stillness and sorrow. She was beautiful in the way that winter is beautiful, vast and cold and indifferent, and yet somehow, in that indifference, deeply kind.
Voice like wind over ice, Noctis Lucas Coelum. I have watched your journey. I have watched you gather power and earn blessings and carry your grief without letting it stop you. I have also watched your sister.
Reyna?
She carries more than you know. She carries the knowledge of what the prophecy demands, and she carries it alone, so that you do not have to carry it with her. She protects you from the weight of it, even as she is crushed beneath it herself.
I know.
Do you?
I know she knows. I know she is protecting me from it. I have let her because I needed to. I needed to be able to keep moving without thinking about the ending every single moment. And she gave me that. She gave me the space to keep going.
You are more perceptive than most chosen kings have been. Take my blessing, and when the time comes, let her grieve. Do not make her be strong for you at the end. Let her be your sister.
I will.
The dawn will be beautiful. Noctis Lucas Coelum. Promise you that.
To himself, very quietly, I know it will.
We have been on the road for 4 months now. I have lost count of the nights we have spent camping, the battles we have fought, the miles we have driven. The regalia has been repaired 3 times and is held together, at this point, largely by Ignis's determination and Cindy's long-distance advice. We are different people than we were when we left Insomnia. All of us. I can see it in the way we move, the way we fight, the way we talk to each other. The road has changed us. The grief has changed us. The responsibility has changed us. Noct is, I do not have the right words for what Noct is becoming. He is still my brother. He still makes terrible jokes and falls asleep in the car and argues with Gladio about training schedules. But there is something else there now, underneath all of that. Something ancient and heavy and luminous. The weight of the Lucii. The weight of the prophecy. The weight of a world that is counting on him. He carries it so quietly. That is the thing that breaks my heart the most. He carries it so quietly that sometimes I forget it is there. And then I see him in a moment when he thinks no one is watching, standing at the edge of camp, looking at the sky, his hand on the ring, and I remember. I have been thinking about what Shiva said. About letting him be my brother at the end. Not the king. Not the chosen. Just my brother. I think I can do that. I think, when the time comes, I will be able to do that. But I am not going to think about the time coming. Not yet. Not while there is still road ahead of us. Not while there is still something to fight for.
The Imperial garrison at the edge of the Clane region was a new installation built in the months since the fall of Insomnia, a forward operating base for the Empire's expanding presence in Lucas. It sat astride the only road north, which meant that getting past it was not optional.
Direct assault is not advisable. The garrison has at least 50 soldiers and a complement of Magitech infantry.
We have taken on worse.
We have, but not without cost. And we cannot afford to be depleted before the final push to Insomnia.
There is another option. I go in alone. As a civilian. I scout the layout, find the weak points, and we hit them simultaneously from 3 sides.
Absolutely not.
Gladio.
You are not going into an Imperial garrison alone.
I am not asking for permission. I am presenting a tactical option.
Carefully, Reyna, while your assessment of the tactical situation is accurate, the risk to you personally
is acceptable. I can pass as a civilian. I have done it before. I know how to move through Imperial-controlled territory without drawing attention. I can get us the intelligence we need to take that garrison with minimal casualties.
She's right.
Noct.
She's right. She is the best option we have. You come back. No matter what. You come back.
I always come back.
Promise me.
I promise.
She went in at dusk, dressed in the kind of nondescript clothing that said nothing about who she was or where she came from. She moved through the garrison with the calm, unhurried pace of someone who belonged there, a skill she had learned from her father's intelligence briefings and refined over 4 months on the road. She counted soldiers. She noted patrol patterns. She identified the power supply for the Magitech infantry. She found the weak point in the eastern wall where the stone was crumbling and the guard rotation had a gap. And she came back.
Returning to camp, slightly breathless, 43 soldiers, 12 Magitech units, 1 Magitech armor. Power supply is in the northeast corner. Eastern wall has a gap in the patrol rotation between the second and third hour of the night watch. We hit the power supply first, take out the Magitech units while they are offline, then split Gladio and I take the eastern wall, Noct and Prompto take the main gate Ignis covers from the ridge.
That is a good plan.
I know.
You did good.
Small smile, I know that too.
The assault on the Imperial garrison was the most coordinated operation they had attempted since leaving Insomnia. It went almost exactly as planned, which Ignis later noted was statistically unusual and probably a sign that the universe was compensating for something.
From the ridge, via earpiece, power supply is down. Magitech units are offline. Proceed. Moving through the eastern wall gap, on your left, Reyna.
I see him. Clear.
Good. Keep moving.
At the main gate, Prompto, I need cover.
On it. Gunfire. Clear. Go.
Warping through the gate, 3 soldiers, northeast corner. Reyna, can you?
Already moving.
Urgent, the Magitech armor is still operational. The power supply did not fully disable it. Everyone clear the center.
How is it still running?
Backup power cell. I did not account for it. My apologies. Noctis.
I have got it. Everyone back.
Breathless, is everyone okay? Checking, yeah. Few cuts. Nothing serious.
Slightly winded, I am fine. Ignis, are you all right?
From the ridge, unharmed. I apologize for the miscalculation regarding the backup power cell.
Do not apologize. We adapted. That is what we do.
Yes. That is what we do.
They found a working communications terminal in the ruins of Aleutian Outpost, one of the few still operational, running on a backup power system that had somehow survived the Empire's systematic destruction of Lucian infrastructure. Ignis spent an hour carefully extracting what information he could from it. What he found were messages. Hundreds of them, messages sent from Insomnia in the days before the fall, by people who had known the end was coming and had wanted to say something before it arrived. Most were personal. Most were addressed to people who might or might not still be alive. Ignis read through them carefully, sorting, cataloging, preserving what he could. And then he found one addressed to Noctis and Reyna.
Noctis. Reyna. There is something here you should see.
The message was from King Regis. It had been sent the morning of the treaty signing, the morning they had left Insomnia. It had been routed through a secure channel that had only just come back online. It was addressed to both of them.
Voice recording, slightly distorted by the transmission, my children. If you are hearing this, then the worst has happened. I am sorry. I am sorry that I could not tell you in person. I'm sorry that I sent you away without saying what I should have said. I want you to know that every decision I made was made out of love. The wall, the sacrifice, sending you away. All of it was love. I know that is not always enough. I know that love does not undo the pain of loss. But I want you to know that it was real. It was always real. Noctis, you are going to be a great king. Not because of the prophecy. Not because of the crystal. Because of who you are. Because of the way you love the people around you, even when you pretend you do not. Because of the way you keep getting up, no matter how many times you are knocked down. I have watched you do that your whole life. I have been proud of you your whole life. Reina, my little light. You have always been the one who holds things together. The one who sees clearly when everyone else is too close to the situation. The one who keeps moving when everyone else wants to stop. That is a gift. Use it. The world is going to need it. I love you both. More than I have ever been able to say. More than any words I have. Take care of each other. Take care of your friends. And when the dawn comes, and it will come, I believe that with everything I have, live in it. Really live in it. For me.
I will give you 2 a minute.
He knew. He knew we would find it.
Voice rough yet?
I miss him so much, Noct. I miss him so much.
Pulling her into a hug, I know. I know. Me too. Quietly, after a while, he said live in it. When the dawn comes. Really live in it.
Wiping her eyes, yeah. He did.
We are going to do that. Both of us.
Both of us.
The night before they entered Insomnia for the final time, they made camp on the hill overlooking the city. The ruins were visible in the distance, the broken towers, the darkened streets, the citadel standing at the center of it all like a monument to everything that had been lost and everything that still needed to be reclaimed. They ate together. Ignis cooked a proper meal, not trail rations, using ingredients he had been carefully hoarding for exactly this occasion. It was, he said, a matter of principle. Whatever happened tomorrow, they were going to face it on a full stomach.
Eating, Ignis, this is incredible. What is this? Grilled king grouper with a lemon butter reduction and roasted root vegetables. I have been saving the grouper since Galdin Key.
You have been carrying fish for 4 months.
Properly preserved fish. There is a difference.
It is really good.
Thank you.
Thank you. For all of it. Not just the food. All of it.
It has been my honor, Noctis. Truly.
Looking around at all of them, I want to say something. When we left Insomnia, I was terrified. I was grieving and lost, and I did not know how any of this was going to work. I did not know if we were strong enough. I did not know if we were brave enough. I did not know if we were going to make it. I know now. Not because we are perfect. Not because we have not made mistakes or been afraid or wanted to give up. But because every time it got hard, we chose each other. Every time the darkness got close, we held the line together. And that is everything. That is the whole thing. Whatever happens tomorrow, I want you all to know that I am proud of every single one of you. And I am grateful. More than I can say.
Do not make me emotional before a battle, Reina.
Too bad.
I am definitely crying.
Prompto.
I am not apologizing for it.
Smiling good. Do not.
We should rest. Tomorrow will demand everything we have.
Yeah. Get some sleep, everyone.
they settled in for the night. One by one, they drifted off to sleep, Prompto first, then Gladio, then Ignis. Noctis and Reyna lay awake for a while longer, side by side, looking up at the stars.
Do you remember what Father used to say? About the stars?
He said every star was a king who had gone before, watching over us.
He said that when we were little and we were afraid of the dark, he would take us up to the roof of the citadel and point at the stars and say, "See? You are never alone. Every king who ever was is up there, watching over you."
I believe that now. I did not when I was little, but I believe it now.
Me too.
Hey, Reyna.
Yeah?
Whatever happens tomorrow, you are going to be okay.
I know.
I mean it. You are going to be more than okay. You are going to be extraordinary. You always have been.
Stop. You are going to make me cry.
Then cry. It is okay.
I love you, Noct. I love you so much.
I love you too. Now get some sleep. We have a kingdom to take back.
Yeah. We do. I am writing this before we go in. I do not know if I will have the chance to write again after. I do not know what tomorrow looks like. I only know what it has to be. I have been thinking about what it means to be a Lucas Selim. Not the official version, not the protocols and the ceremonies and the weight of the crown. The real version. The version that Father lived and that Noct is living and that I am trying to live. It means you carry what you are given. You carry it even when it is too heavy. You carry it even when you are afraid. You carry it because the people who gave it to you believed you could, and because the people who are counting on you need you to. It means you do not stop. Not for anything. Not for grief. Not for fear. Not for the knowledge of what is coming. You keep moving. You keep fighting. You keep choosing the people beside you every single day, no matter what. I have been so lucky. I know that sounds strange, given everything. But I have been so lucky. I have had Noct, my twin, my other half, the best person I know. I have had Ignis and Gladio and Prompto, who have become family in the truest sense of the word. I have had Father's love, even at the end. I have had Luna's friendship, brief and precious as it was. I have had this journey. This impossible, terrible, beautiful journey. And I would not trade it. Whatever happens today, I want the record to show that we tried. That we gave everything we had. That we chose each other and kept choosing each other until the very end. And that the dawn, when it comes, will be worth it. It has to be worth it. For Lucas. For everyone. For Noct. Let us go.
1 year after the dawn. Lestalem, now the provisional capital of the restored kingdom of Lucas. A public address by Reyna Lucas Selim, acting regent, to the assembled citizens of Eos.
People of Eos. 1 year ago today, the dawn returned. After months of lengthening nights, after the spread of the star scourge and the fall of insomnia and the long darkness that threatened to swallow our world, the sun rose. Because of one man. My brother. Noctis Lucas Selim, the true king, the king of light, who gave everything he had to bring the dawn back to this world. I am not going to stand here and pretend that the grief of that loss is small. It is not small. It will never be small. He was my twin. My other half. The person I loved most in this world. And he is gone, and the world is here, and every morning when the sun rises I feel both of those things at the same time, the grief and the gratitude, and I have learned to hold them both. What I want to say to you today is this. The dawn did not come for free. It came at a cost that none of us should ever forget. And the best way to honor that cost, the only way to honor it, is to build something worthy of it. To build a world that Noctis would be proud of. A world where the lights stay on and the people are safe and the darkness does not win. That is what we are going to do. Together. All of us. My father used to say that the strength of Lucas was not in its crystal or its wall. It was in its people. In the ordinary people who kept living and working and caring for each other even in the shadow of the darkness. He was right. He was always right about the things that mattered. So I am asking you, all of you, to keep living. To keep working. To keep caring for each other. To keep the lights burning. Not because a prophecy demands it. Not because a king commands it. But because you choose to. Because you believe, as I believe, that this world is worth fighting for. My brother believed that. He believed it with everything he had. He proved it with everything he gave. The least we can do is believe it too. Thank you. For your resilience. For your courage. For your faith in a future that was not guaranteed. The dawn is here. Let us live in it.
In the years after the dawn, the companions of the true king each found their own way forward. Gladiolus Amicitia threw himself into the rebuilding of Insomnia with the same ferocity he had brought to every battle on the road. He established a new training corps for the city's defenders, not a royal guard, but a people's guard, open to anyone willing to serve. He named it after his father. He never stopped training. He never stopped being the shield. Prompto Argentum became something unexpected, a chronicler. He had always taken photographs, but after the dawn he began to write as well long, careful accounts of the journey, the battles, the quiet moments between the battles. He wanted the world to know what had happened. Not the official version, not the historical record, but the real version. The version with pancakes at Hammerhead and arguments about monsters and a prince who fell asleep in the car and a princess who held everything together with sheer force of will. He published it 5 years after the dawn. It was the most widely read book in the history of EOS. Ignis Scientia became the chief architect of the new Lucian government, a constitutional structure that distributed power more broadly than the old monarchy had, that built in protections for ordinary citizens, that was designed to last. He worked on it for years, consulting with scholars and citizens and former enemies alike. He said it was the most complex problem he had ever tried to solve. He also said it was the most important. And Reina Lucas Selim became the queen that EOS needed. Not a figurehead. Not a symbol. A ruler active, engaged, relentless in her pursuit of a world worth living in. She rebuilt Insomnia. She forged alliances. She made mistakes and acknowledged them and corrected them and kept going. She was her father's daughter and her brother's twin and entirely, completely herself. She never stopped grieving. She never pretended she had. But she also never let the grief become the whole story. Because the whole story was bigger than grief. The whole story was the dawn.
I still talk to him sometimes. Not out loud, not usually. But in the quiet moments, when the sun is rising and the city is waking up and the world is doing what it is supposed to do, I tell him about it. I tell him what we built. What we are still building. I tell him about Prompto's book and Gladio's training corps and Ignis's constitution and all the small, ordinary, extraordinary things that are happening in the world he gave everything for. And I tell him that it is worth it. That the world is worth it. That he was right to believe in it. I think he knows. I think, wherever he is, with Father and the Lucii and all the kings who came before, I think he knows. The sun is rising right now. Over the rebuilt towers of Insomnia, over the crystal that pulses with gentle light, over the streets where people are waking up and starting their days and living their lives in the dawn that he brought them. It is beautiful. He would have loved it. I love you, Noct. I always will.
The tomb of the Wanderer was the most difficult to reach of all the royal tombs hidden deep in the Claim Mountains, accessible only by a narrow path that wound up the side of a cliff face for 3 miles before opening onto a plateau where the wind howled constantly and the sky seemed closer than it should. They climbed it on foot, the regalia left at the base of the mountain. It took 4 hours. Prompto complained for the first 2 and then fell into a determined, breathless silence that was somehow more impressive than any amount of stoicism.
Breathless, at the top, I made it. I actually made it.
You sound surprised.
I am a little surprised. My legs stopped working about an hour ago. I have just been running on spite.
Also breathless, spite is a perfectly valid fuel source.
This is the tomb of the Wanderer. The king who rests here was known for traveling the length and breadth of Lucis during his reign. He believed that a king who did not know his own land could not truly protect it.
He sounds like someone I would have liked.
By all accounts, he was remarkable. He was also the first king to formally recognize the oracle's lineage as a separate but equal power to the crown. He and the oracle of his time were close friends.
Like Noct and Luna.
Yes, like Noct and Luna.
Noctis entered the tomb alone, as always. But this time, the wait was longer than usual. An hour passed. Then 2. The others sat on the plateau and watched the sky and did not say what they were all thinking.
Finally, he has been in there a long time.
The Wanderer's tomb is said to contain a trial as well as a weapon. The king was known for testing those who came after him.
What kind of trial?
The texts are not specific, but the Wanderer was known for one thing above all others. He believed that a king must know not only his strengths, but his fears. He believed that facing your fears was the only way to truly lead.
I am going in.
Reyna,
He has been in there for 2 hours. I am going in.
The tomb may not admit you. It is key to the blood of the Lucii.
I am Reyna Lucas Selim. I carry the same blood he does.
Yes, you do.
The tomb admitted her. The magic recognized her blood, her lineage, her right. She moved through the dark corridors quickly, following the faint glow of royal arm power that marked where Noctis had gone. She found him in the innermost chamber. He was standing in the center of the room, very still, his eyes open but not quite focused, the look of someone caught in a vision. She crossed the room and put her hand on his arm.
Noct. I am here.
Slowly coming back, Reyna. What are you doing here?
Looking for you. What happened?
The trial. It showed me. It showed me the ending. Not just the broad strokes. The actual moment. What it will feel like. I have known for a long time that I will die. But knowing it and seeing it are different things.
Are you all right?
I am scared. I know I am not supposed to say that. I know I am supposed to be the king of light, steady and certain, and...
You are allowed to be scared. You are allowed to be human.
What if the fear makes me hesitate? What if, when the moment comes, I cannot?
Firmly, you will. I know you will. Not because you are not afraid, but because you are the kind of person who does the thing anyway. You have been doing that your whole life. You have been afraid and you have done it anyway, every single time.
What if this time is different?
It is not. And even if it is, you will not be alone. I will be there. All of us will be there. You will not have to face it alone.
You promise?
I promise.
Steadying, okay. I claim the weapon. The Wanderer's arm. It is different from the others. Lighter. Like it is not just a weapon, it is a direction. Like it is pointing somewhere.
Forward.
Small smile, yeah? Forward. Let us go. The others are probably worried.
Gladio has been pacing for the last hour.
Of course he has.
The regalia broke down for the fourth and final time on the road between Lestalem and Insomnia. The engine made a sound that Ignis later described as deeply concerning, and then stopped entirely, leaving them stranded on the side of the road with the ruins of Insomnia visible on the horizon.
Staring at the car, is it dead? Under the hood, it is not dead. It is expressing strong objections to continued service.
Can you fix it?
Not with what we have. We need a mechanic.
Already on the phone, I am calling Cindy.
Well, I will be. You all are still in one piece?
More or less. The regalia has given up.
I told you that coolant line was going to be trouble. What is she doing?
She stopped. Completely. Ignis says the engine is expressing strong objections.
That is one way to put it. All right, tell me where you are. I will come to you.
Cindy, you do not have to.
Oh, hush. You think I am going to let the regalia die on the side of the road when you are this close to the end? Not a chance. Where are you?
Cindy arrived 3 hours later in her own truck, loaded with tools and spare parts and, inexplicably, a basket of sandwiches. She worked on the regalia for 2 hours while the group ate and rested and tried not to think too hard about what was waiting for them in the city on the horizon.
You know, I have been following the news. What little of it there is. People are scared. But they are also, I do not know. There is something different in the air lately. Like people are starting to believe that things might actually get better.
Do you believe that?
I believe in the people I have met on this road. I believe in you lot. Is that enough?
I think it might be.
There. She will run. Not forever. She is on borrowed time, this old girl. But she will get you where you need to go.
That is all we need.
You take care of yourself, you hear me? All of you. And when this is over, when the lights come back on, you come back to Hammerhead. I will make sure the diner is open.
Earnestly, I will be there for the pancakes.
Smiling, I know you will, Prompto. I know you will.
The final drive into Insomnia was silent. They had said everything that needed to be said. The city grew larger as they approached, the ruins more detailed, the damage more visible, the darkness more absolute. The demons were thick in the streets, moving in packs, emboldened by the perpetual night. They drove with the headlights off to avoid drawing attention, navigating by memory and the faint glow of the crystal, which pulsed somewhere in the depths of the citadel like a heartbeat that had not quite stopped.
We enter through the old service tunnels on the western side. They should be clear. The Empire does not know about them. Your father had them built as an emergency exit, but they work equally well as an entrance.
I know them. Reyna and I used to sneak out through them when we were kids.
Of course you did.
Small smile, they come out near the old market district. From there it is about a mile to the citadel.
Through heavily demon-infested streets.
Through heavily demon-infested streets. Yes.
Taking a breath, okay. Okay, we can do this.
We have done harder things.
Have we?
We have done equally hard things.
That is more honest. Thank you.
Quietly, looking at the city, I grew up here. I know every street, every shortcut, every place to hide, and every place to fight. This is still my city, and I am taking it back. Let us go.
Moving through the ruins of Insomnia was unlike anything they had experienced on the road. This was not open country where they could see threats coming from a distance. This was a labyrinth, a city they had known in life, now transformed into something alien and hostile. Every corner held a memory. Every ruined building had once been something else.
Quietly, as they move, that was the bookshop. father used to take us there on Sundays when we were little. He would let us each pick one book.
I always pick the ones with the most pictures.
You always picked the ones about monsters.
Research.
Quietly, a little further, that is the fountain where Prompto fell in when we were 15.
We agreed never to speak of that.
I am speaking of it.
The fountain was slippery. Shoo, demons ahead. 3 of them. Moving east. Wait for them to pass. Clear. Move.
They fought when they had to and avoided when they could, moving through the city in a pattern that was half tactical and half memory, Noctis and Reyna leading, navigating by instinct through streets they had known since childhood, finding paths through the ruins that no one else would have known to look for. And slowly, block by block, they made their way toward the citadel.
We are close. The main entrance is 2 blocks north.
I know. The throne room is at the top of the central tower. That is where Arden will be waiting.
And the crystal.
Below the throne room, in the vault. That is where they took it.
We split at the entrance. Gladio, Prompto, Ignis, you clear the lower levels, keep the path open. Noct and I go up.
Reyna.
He needs someone at his back. I am the one who goes up with him.
Agreed. Do not do anything stupid.
Define stupid.
You know what I mean.
I know. We will see you on the other side.
The citadel was a different place in darkness. The grand corridors that Reyna and Noctis had grown up in, the marble floors, the high ceilings, the portraits of kings stretching back through centuries were still there, but transformed. Shadows pooled in corners that had never held shadows before. The air smelled of demon and old stone and something else, something that made the ring on Noctis's hand pulse with a cold, steady light. They moved quickly, not speaking, communicating in the shorthand of twins who had spent their entire lives in each other's company. A glance. A gesture. A shift in weight that meant watch left or move right or wait. They had fought together for months. They moved like one person.
Very quietly, pausing at a junction, demon. Upper corridor. Moving away from us.
I see it. Let it go. Keep moving.
Do you remember when we were 12 and we used to race up these stairs?
You always won.
You always let me win.
I did not.
You absolutely did. I know your actual running speed. You were holding back.
Very quietly, with a hint of a smile maybe.
I knew it.
The throne room was at the top of the central tower. The doors were open. Arden had left them open, because Arden had known they were coming, because Arden had always known they were coming. This was the end of the story he had been waiting 2,000 years to finish. Noctis paused at the threshold. Reyna stopped beside him.
Whatever happens in there,
I know.
stay back when it starts. I need to know you are safe.
I will not be in the way. But I will be there.
I know you will. Ready?
Always.
Arden was sitting on the throne. Not the king's throne, the throne of Lucas, the throne that had been in the Selim family for generations. He was sitting on it with the casual ease of someone who had been waiting for a very long time and had made his peace with the waiting. He looked up when they entered.
You made it, both of you. I am genuinely impressed.
Steady, get off the throne.
Of course, it was never mine. It was never really anyone's, was it? Just a chair, just a symbol. How are you feeling, Noctis? You look tired.
I am fine.
You are not fine. You are carrying the weight of 14 royal arms and 6 astral blessings and 2,000 years of prophecy. You are exhausted in ways that go beyond the physical. But you are here. That is what matters.
What happens now?
Now the story ends. The way it was always going to end. I want you to know something, Princess. I have watched a great many chosen kings on this path. Most of them were alone. Most of them did not have what your brother has. People who chose to walk beside him, not because they were commanded to, but because they wanted to. That is rare. That matters.
I know it does.
I am sorry for what I have done, for what I have had to do, for what I am about to do. I have been angry for 2,000 years. I have had a great deal of time to think about whether the anger was justified. I believe it was. I also believe it does not matter anymore.
Arden, you do not have to.
Yes, I do. This is the only way the darkness ends. You know that. I know that. The crystal knows that. Come then, let us finish this.
The battle in the throne room of the Citadel was the culmination of everything, every royal arm, every astral blessing, every mile of road and every night of fighting and every choice that had led them to this moment. Arden fought with the power of 2,000 years of accumulated darkness, and Noctis fought with the power of everything he had gathered and everyone he loved. Reyna stayed back, as she had promised. She watched, her hands clenched at her sides, her heart in her throat, unable to help and refusing to look away. She watched her brother fight the hardest battle of his life, and she held the space for him, held the room, held the line, held herself together so that he could do what he needed to do. It was the hardest thing she had ever done. It was also, she realized, exactly what she was supposed to do. Not fight beside him. Hold the space for him. Make sure the ground beneath him was solid. That was her role. That had always been her role. And she was going to do it perfectly.
Thank you. I am so tired. Thank you.
It is time.
The crystal pulsed in the vault below the throne room, its light steady and ancient and patient. It had been waiting for this moment for 2,000 years, since the first Arden had tried and failed, since the prophecy had been set in motion, since the long chain of kings and sacrifices and choices had led, inevitably, to this. Noctis descended to the vault alone. Reyna waited at the top of the stairs. She heard the crystal's light intensify, felt it, more than heard it, a warmth that spread through the stone of the citadel and up through the soles of her feet and into her chest. She heard Noctis's voice, very faint, speaking to the crystal or to the Lucii or to something she could not hear. And then she heard him say her name.
Reyna.
The vault was full of light. The crystal floated at its center, blazing